Parenting. Everyone does it differently, but have you ever wondered what your particular type of parenting style is, or which one has the best outcome for kids? In today's video, I'm breaking down the most common ways of parenting and the effects that each style has on children. Plus, I'll be sharing which one tends to create the best outcomes for adulthood. So stay tuned. So exactly how many parenting styles are there? Depends on who you ask. There are more and more popping up every day. And if you've happened to see ABC's new show, The Parent Test, there are 12 different styles featured just on that show alone. And one of the hosts of that show, who is psychologist Doc Brown, had said in an interview that there are over 100 different parenting styles. But for this video, we will be referring to the 4 main types of parenting from a psychological perspective, which are authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. Now, before I begin, I want to be clear that there is a correlation between different parenting styles and the outcomes they produce. It does not mean that if someone raises a child in a certain style of parenting, that they will absolutely have the outcomes that given style tends to produce. There are a lot of other outside factors that can contribute to childhood outcomes, but the types of parenting style used does play a big role. So these 4 parenting styles are based on the amount of warmth present in the parent-child relationship, also known as responsiveness, as well as the expectations that the parent has for the child or the level of demandingness. So let's start with the authoritarian parenting style. You can think of this as the disciplinarian style of parenting. This parenting style is high in demandingness, but low in responsiveness. So these parents expect a lot from their children, but there isn't a lot of space for the child's feelings, thoughts, or voice. So not a lot of warmth. The parent is in complete control in the authoritarian style and views themselves as being at the top of the hierarchy and the child being at the bottom or inferior. So an example of this kind of style in pop culture is Red Foreman, the dad from That 70s Show, who can often be found using phrases like, "because I said so," or constantly threatening to shove his foot up his son's butt. So basically, it's his way or the highway. This is reflective of the authoritarian parenting style. Other characteristics of this style include rigid or strict rules and expectations, limited communication between parent and child, and a reliance on punishment and shame rather than positive reinforcement. Authoritarian parents make decisions without considering the child's perspective or opinions, and they feel that they need to control their child in order to be seen as a good parent. And sometimes this is by extreme means such as spanking or corporal punishment. Oftentimes they will engage in this behavior in what they view as an attempt to toughen kids up, or because they think it will prevent their kids from becoming entitled, spoiled brats. This parenting style can lead to things such as low self-confidence in children, resentment towards their parents, lower academic performance, more temper tantrums, greater behavior problems, poor social skills, higher risk of substance abuse, and worse coping skills. The next parenting style is permissive parenting, which is at the complete opposite end of the spectrum from authoritarian parenting. So this is also known as indulgent parenting. Here we're talking about low expectations, but high warmth. So these parents are really loving, but they tend to struggle to set and enforce boundaries, and they often don't like to say no or disappoint their children. Characteristics include a lack of discipline, offering too much leniency when it comes to rules, and not providing enough structure or guidance for their children. The outcomes of this parenting style can lead to low self-control in children, as well as difficulty following directions or instructions later in life. An example of the permissive parenting style is Regina George's mom in the movie Mean Girls. She basically lets Regina do whatever she wants, and she tells her friends that, quote, "there are no rules in this house," and even offers the underage girls alcohol. Our next style of parenting is the uninvolved parent, which is also known as the neglectful parent. So here we're looking at little to no expectations for their kids and an absence of warmth and affection. They are typically uninvolved in their child's lives and do not have firm boundaries. These parents may struggle with things like mental health issues or substance abuse themselves, or they aren't interested in parenting or just aren't sure how to be a parent. So instead, they just avoid being one. Children raised with an uninvolved parenting style tend to be more impulsive, have trouble regulating emotions, are more at risk for delinquent behavior and substance abuse, and have greater mental health issues. An example of an uninvolved parent would be the mom from the movie Matilda. So in the movie, she can be found doing things like gossiping on the phone while completely ignoring her daughter trying to talk to her, and she's even unaware of how old her daughter actually is. The next parenting style we're going to look at is authoritative parenting, which is also known as democratic parenting. Now, this style of parenting is not to be confused with authoritarian parenting. They may sound very similar, but they're very different. While both styles have a high level of demandingness, authoritative parenting is also high in warmth. So these parents have high expectations for their children, but they also have a high level of love and support there as well. And spoiler alert, this is the parenting style that is considered by many parenting experts and psychologists to be the best way to raise kids because it balances both freedom and structure while still allowing room for creativity and exploration from the child. It is worth noting that parenting styles vary based on geographic location and culture, but the information in this video is referring to the United States and the studies that have been conducted here. Characteristics of an authoritative parenting style include setting clear expectations, but also allowing some flexibility depending on each situation at hand, encouraging open dialogue between parent and child, using positive enforcement rather than punishment, providing support when needed, but also teaching responsibility, giving autonomy when appropriate, but also enforcing consequences when necessary, showing love, encouraging independence while still providing guidance, and being consistent yet flexible at the same time. A great TV example of an authoritative parenting style is Danny Tanner, the dad from Full House. Danny loves his kids very much and shows them lots of affection, but he also sets clear, consistent boundaries and has high expectations for his kids. Outcome-wise, authoritative parents tend to raise independent yet responsible children who trust themselves enough to make good decisions on their own with little parental interference needed later on down the line. In regards to positive parenting or gentle parenting, these styles fall under the umbrella of authoritative parenting as well. So these styles have an emphasis on building strong relationships based on mutual respect, rather than just obedience or blind compliance from the child side. So it's all about helping them learn how to be successful self-advocates while still respecting others in the process. It involves lots of communication between parent and child, plus plenty of collaborative problem solving. I did want to touch on one more parenting style that has become more prevalent over the years, and that is the helicopter parent or the snowplow style of parenting. So this type of parenting falls somewhere between authoritarian and permissive styles. The parents hover over their kids' every move, but they don't impose strict rules or boundaries on them like an authoritarian parent would do. Instead, they take away the obstacles so that their kids have an easier time succeeding. So characteristics include always being available, hence the helicopter term, doing things for your child like taking care of homework assignments, intervening with teachers and schools if your child doesn't get a good grade or the second something small happens at school. And the outcome of this parenting style is usually a child who lacks real-world problem-solving skills due to a lack of experience solving the issues independently of their parents. If you're interested in learning more about the authoritative parenting style or positive parenting, you can download my free emotion coaching guide, which I will link down in the description box below. And also make sure you're subscribed to my channel before you go, because this channel will be an awesome parenting resource for you if you're a parent of little ones. Did any of this information surprise you? Let me know in the comments below if it did. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.